My parents sued me because I refused to give my kidney to their golden daughter. They thought I'd break, but I walked away, exposed everything, and watched their perfect little world finally fall apart. My parents sued me because I refused to give my kidney to their so-called golden daughter. That was the line printed across the top of the summons I found taped to my apartment door like some sick announcement that my own family had finally decided what I was worth. I remember standing there barefoot, coffee turning cold in my hand, realizing they truly believed I'd break, that I'd fold the moment they pushed hard enough. But they didn't know who I had become, not really. And what happened next, the part they never imagined, started with one simple truth I uncovered that changed everything. I grew up in a house where every hallway felt like it echoed my sister's name. Serena's trophies lined the shelves. Her framed certificates hung in the living room. Her photos were the first thing anyone saw when they stepped inside. Mine were somewhere in a drawer, probably under old bills or holiday cards no one read. Even as a kid, I learned to walk quietly to take up less space because anything louder than a whisper risked being compared to her brilliance. Dad used to say Serena was born shining. He never said what I was born as, just that I should try harder. Mom wasn't much better. She had this way of sighing when I entered a room like I had interrupted a show she was watching. If she hugged Serena, it was with both arms. With me, it was a distracted pat on the shoulder. There was a moment when I was 14 that never left me. I'd worked up the courage to tell them I felt invisible, that I didn't know how to be in a family that only made room for one daughter. Dad didn't even look up from his newspaper. He just said I was jealous that Serena's success should inspire me, not bother me. Serena giggled softly, and Mom told me to stop being dramatic. That was the night I understood they weren't going to see me. Not then. Not later. So, by the time I turned 29, I had created a small life of my own in Riverside. A one-bedroom apartment with warm morning light, shelves full of sketchbooks, and a tiny balcony where I drank coffee before work. I didn't live far from my parents, but far enough to breathe. My freelance design projects kept me busy, and Daniel, my project manager, always made sure I had flexible deadlines when life got messy. Mila, my best friend since high school, was the one person who knew everything, the quiet bruises of being the forgotten daughter, the anger I swallowed, the boundaries I built just to stay sane. So when Mom called one Tuesday evening and said, "Your sister's in the hospital," all that distance collapsed at once. My stomach dropped. No matter how complicated things were, hearing Serena was sick shoved every old instinct to the surface. I rushed to the hospital that night, walking through hallways lit too brightly, wondering what I was about to face. I didn't know then that this was the beginning. The moment where everything I feared about my family would come true. Just not in the way I expected. Serena looked smaller than I remembered, lying against crisp white sheets, her skin pale beneath harsh fluorescent lights.